asked you all to submit me your design portfolios, and in this video, I'm going to do a deeper dive into some of my favorite ones and review them. Let's get into it. All right, so first up, we have this portfolio by Laura Chaland. And this looks like a pretty simple setup so far. I like the look of it. Your style has definitely, progressed into something different from some of these older projects. Maybe that's one of the first things I would consider is it's not that you have to have one cohesive style, but it is nice to only showcase the type of work that you want to be doing in the future. This one caught my eye when I was taking a look at these originally. This interactive Touche Amore poster, super cool band, and it looks like this is some kind of layered risograph printing type of thing. Light reactive poster that changes appearance based on the color that it's projected onto. Commissioned by Touche Amore for their pop-up event. This is really cool. There's the lead singer right there, actually. I love seeing not only cool projects, but how it actually turned out to be in whatever activation it was and having real photos, not just mock-ups and stuff. This is really cool. Let's see this little video here, how this works. Okay, yeah. This seems like an extreme version of that color changing thing that paper does, but I've noticed even when you have like a gradient map or really bright colors on some kind of photo print and you do the different color lighting on it, it already has this kind of effect. So you just almost like exasperated that and made it into a more extreme version. All right, let's take a look at some other stuff. Madonna illustration. This is pretty cool. I feel like this style is getting really big right now. Even my homie Ram did on his little trend report type video. It's like modern medieval or new gothic or whatever you want to call it, but taking from this very decorative style that people were doing back in the day and like black letter fonts, really ornamental stuff. And this is cool. It looks like you executed this really well. I love the hand stretching out right here from the like hair or cloth or whatever this is. I think this looks awesome. I might have rearranged this a little bit in terms of how it would be displayed on a shirt. Like maybe the black part is just see-through and this is just a white screen print, and even messing with how this Madonna type is laid out, like maybe over here on the bottom, or if you move this square down, you have more negative space up here to place that script font. But overall, this is a pretty cool little project. And I don't really have any complaints with the portfolio, honestly. It's simple, it's easy to understand. I actually don't really like overcomplicated portfolios when it comes to like navigating it, so this is nice. This good girl type, this is really cool. This caught my eye when I first opened up the website. I love custom type. I mean, nothing much to say there. I would like to see, if you had more of this, maybe have this in a collection somewhere, like typography or whatever, instead of just dedicating an entire project page to this one small piece of custom type. It would be cool to have it be more like a collection, or a series, whatever it may be. I like your little logo up here. Looks cool. About page. Yeah, I mean, pretty good portfolio. Keep up the good work. I think you have a really cool style and I'd love to see more stuff like this. I think this is really cool. So this next one is Mukamasa. I don't know. I didn't know how to say the name when I first saw this one. Let's check out the about page. Maybe it'll tell me. Okay, Lorenzo Medina. That's the one we're doing here. This website is dope. Obviously, I love the orange. You got to sandwich it. Love the orange. It's kind of hard to navigate. Love the typography. So 1 criticism, 2 compliments. But this is really cool. I like this a lot. I just think it's a little bit hard to navigate, like I said, but here we go. Album art like this. You come here, right? And it's kind of confusing what to do. It took me a little bit when I first clicked on this to figure it out, but the projects are actually right here. I would definitely, if you're not gonna sort this out easier to understand, like have the project listed or something, I think I would have these have some kind of hover animation or underline or something just to give me some visual feedback. So some album art. This is really cool. I love this open gatefold thing here. This seems like a really awesome entire system. Really cool typography. I like this a lot. I really like this. It reminds me of the New York kind of subway style. This is really cool too. It seems like you have a good grasp of typography and illustration and screen printing and mixing all those styles together. Like, this is awesome. I really love the look of this. I think this is some amazing work. Okay, cool. This is dope with the spinning chairs. That's sick. I really like this. And this kind of reminds me of those walking guys from the Parquet Courts album. This is dope though. It seems like you have a really good eye for creating entire little identity systems and styles in these album arts. Let's take a look at one of the other categories real quick. Illustration. Okay, yeah, you can see this style kind of reminiscent in some of the album artwork you've did. I think that you've done a great job of blending this traditional kind of type and graphic design style with some of this more fine art, print techniques, as well as illustration, drawing, and painting. You could tell you have a fine art background for sure. Some music posters. I really like these ones. A lot of this stuff too kind of reminds me of those old jazz illustrations you'd see on some of the more obscure, like when they got a little crazier with the Blue Note album covers, as well as reminds me of some of Braulio Amato's poster work, who's one of my favorite designers of all time. These look like they're all for this one person, Gabriella Ponce. These are cool. This work is great. Great portfolio. Love the colors, love the type. The only thing is maybe the UI might be a little hard to navigate if you're not so accustomed to looking around sites like this, but maybe that's not the target audience anyway, so I think it's great. All right, next up, Pablo Robin. Let's check out this Drain Story. Okay, so this is a book publication project based off Drain Gang, Blade and Thai Boy Digital and all that. This is cool. I mean, this is like some avant-garde typographic layout, similar to some of the postmodernist like 2000 stuff. I think that fits really well with this style because that whole hyper pop movement of, like Blade and all that, it's very against the grain and a very new style. It's definitely that shit that older people will be like, what the fuck? This is not music. And you have to almost agree that to an extent, but I think matching that with these really harsh CMYK colors right here, like the blue on the yellow and pink, it helps encompass that kind of visual tension and kind of anti-design almost that the feeling the music has too. So I think it works well together. It looks like you do a lot of publication design stuff, which is really cool. I think the portfolio could aid from a little bit more customization or personality. I know that I just said I don't like overcomplicated portfolios, but I think this leans a little too far into the minimalism, like just the sans serif on white. I think it can be done well, but it needs a little bit more detail maybe, or some kind of just something. Rubberneck. So this looks like a publication design about LA traffic. We are the clot. More photo book as well with some typography. This is really cool. I like the styling right here. Mixing this orange, black, and white always looks really good. You always run the risk of it feeling a little Halloween-esque, but I don't think that has happened here. This is dope. Same thing, see? A lot of these portfolios have some of this style that I was referencing, like from Ray Gun Magazine or like Chris Ashworth, this kind of distressed typography. Maybe it's making an even bigger comeback per se than I thought. This is dope though. Really clean layouts, really cool looking book. Seems like you have a specialty definitely with like publication design and stuff, so keep it up. Let's take a look at this last one. So this looks like a mock event for a punk festival. Yeah, I mean, I would love to see a festival take on this styling, right? The collage cut out like sans serif look, that very same style I'm referencing before, but yeah, like the very 2000s aesthetic. I think you did a really good job of taking that and building out an entire system here. This all looks great. I could see this entire thing. There's the other drain. I could see this entire thing being built out into an entire system for social media and all that. I love this because it definitely references the old punk flyers. Kind of were just designed by people and laid out on a copy printer to get that Xerox aesthetic. Yeah, this is dope. Rest in peace, Zulu. Good projects, cool publication design stuff. You definitely have interest in like underground music, which I think is cool. So, hell yeah. If you've been watching this video and thinking, hey, some of these portfolios are pretty dope, I actually need to build my own. Well, then lucky for you, This video is sponsored by Framer. Not only do I think Framer is hands down the best website builder for designers, it's also the exact platform that I built my Cuesta Studio website on. I needed a good website for Cuesta Studio to not only showcase my past client work, but to attract new clients. And Framer gave me a great platform to build that website on. One of my favorite features Framer has is their CMS system, which allows you to easily go in and add new photos, videos, and text for each of your portfolio projects. For your own website, you can start with one of the really nice templates they have on the site. And for real, they have some of the best free and paid templates that I've ever seen. Or you can create a custom website built from scratch. Whatever works best for you. So if you're interested in upgrading your portfolio game today, then check out the link in my description to sign up for free. All right, let's get back into the video. Julie Noen's Beijing Beijing born, Boston based. Damn, she had the tongue twister in the in her intro. Beijing born, Boston based, multidisciplinary graphic designer and illustrator. Woo. All right, I got through it all. That's a tongue twister for sure. This is cool. I like this kind of custom little about page. It looks like I want to take a look at these two maybe. These look like probably the most built out projects, and they're also the top. I think it's always really good to have projects you like the most at the top, because those are what people are most likely to click on. I like this portfolio layout so far too. It looks like a visual identity for these dandelion, acorn, and woodpecker box. Okay, this is really dope. I think this wooden aesthetic actually works well on this. It doesn't look too like manufactured. Nice little animation. I think this type and this little symbol right here fits the style you were going for very well, with this kind of rustic, handmade, almost like handwritten note aesthetic. Even, you know, like tying that little string around that makes that feel a lot more like what you were going for. This is cool. I like to see that. Even if you just mocked these up, I'm not sure if this is an official project yet or not. You can tell you cut it out yourself right here, and you took these photos and you did this instead of just creating mock-ups or AI generating stuff. And this is a cool, oh, this is coffee too. Okay, that's a cool project. Mama's Condiments. This seems like a similar food and beverage packaging design stuff. I think this looks like a really cool system. It looks like you built this out really well and with a lot of intention. You have a cookbook, some tote bags, packaging. I like this little logo too. It's cool. It flows nice. And this looks legit. I mean, this is a really good packaging project. I think this is something you would definitely see at Erewhon or Sprouts or one of those types of organic places. Yeah, really good portfolio. It seems like you have a aesthetic you're leaning in towards, this kind of handmade, rustic feel, and I think it's working. All right, this next one, quite the opposite of that. Very sans serif, Helvetica-esque driven. Bled Studio Labs. So this is just your kind of experimental page. I love this. I always advocate for having a archive, sandbox, experimental page, whatever you want to call it. Something where you can throw up essentially stuff you would put on Instagram or personal work or things that just show your interest and taste and design styles, because some of the best work we create is stuff that wasn't official projects. And yes, it may not deserve a spot in the official lineup of projects, but it will show the taste and style you have that can eventually get you more projects in this vein. So that's cool. This looks cool. I want to take a look at this. And also, this is James Kaufman's work. I love this dude's illustration logo work. Just a quick shout out to him too, regardless of this. It looks like you worked with him on some animation stuff, but I've always really liked his style. So it looks like you animated some of his stuff with some motion design, which this is a really cool collaboration. It's a win-win too, working with another artist or designer who does a different type of thing than you, because it's easy to collaborate. The work is divided in a pretty reasonable way. This is cool. It looks like here you have a entire system. Plays fans a visualization of his time living in Rome, Italy through photography, packaging. This is really cool. I like the style a lot. I love the red on this white. It just reminds me of, I guess, very like European design style, I could say, like the Swiss design, obviously, with the red. And I think this is good layout, good type. 6 experimental tracks. Building out this cassette system is really cool too. I think this is a nice project. Can't really tell if this is about you or for someone else or what this is, but it looks dope. And if I was doing a music campaign, I would definitely use this as a reference. Looks like some brand identity, prism, image development. I like this symbol a lot. This kind of like, okay, but it's also a triangle with the prism. I don't need to over explain it. Stretching out. I like using the symbols here on the edges for like the bounding box for stretching out these different images. That shirt's pretty dope. It's just simple, but I like how it looks. Now, I don't know how to even explain this, but my eye likes that shirt. Crafting the logo right there, that's pretty cool. That's a nice way to show some process without being overly designery and overly annoying for the common viewer. Looks like you built this system out pretty well. I like all this a lot. These are dope, kind of referencing the, I guess the negatives or the scans or whatever you want to call them. I like this. This is a really good project. Seems like you have a lot of good work in here and definitely an aesthetic that you're leaning in towards. So keep it up. Here we got Autumn Riffenberry, complicationunlikely.com. So yeah, same thing, right? Page to put your own stuff, which I always think is a good idea, even if it's off to the side or whatever. This is all really cool. Same style, really 2000s stuff going on. Fuel City rebrand. See, I think your images are too large. You want to keep stuff to like under 2 megabytes max, because this stuff's taking a while to load. This is a cool rebrand though. It kind of reminds me of like this Five Guys aesthetic, but I like the mix of bold type with these nice little illustrations and stuff. This is cool. Ford Ranger zine. I love this. I love old mini trucks. If you're been around the channel, you know my obsession with small trucks, and applying this kind of cool postmodern, that blur type style to this is dope. Is this probably a school project, right? Or just a fun self-initiated project? I'd love to see a manual done like this of an actual in an actual car. Okay, little brand identity project, Tinned Fish. I love this logo type. This is cool. Having the dots in the A and the 2 little eyes right here and the fish, kind of bringing that system all together. I think you could have made this the Alaskan sourced tinned fish type have a little bit more of that rounded and rough hand painted edge, even if you just took this sans serif and retraced it and scanned it in, or added a little bit of a roughen effect to it. I really like this kind of chromacopia Tyler the Creator color palette, this dark green and black, and this is cool. I love this little brand system. That's awesome. Having the hook come down with the olive oil, lemon juice. Honestly, this looks like it may have been a self-initiated project or a school project. It's a lot of mock-ups and stuff, but this is beautiful. I love this. This should be definitely at the top of your portfolio. I think this is one of the best projects in here for sure. I would put this, I know it has this big feature, right? But I would have this 2 space right here take up these 2 spaces maybe, and then put your other favorite one right here. This is a cool shirt. I like this. I like presenting t-shirts like this too, with a cool like kind of abstract image on the background. Really cool work though. I like a lot of this. So here's the last one. Looks like we got a lot of projects here. These look really legit. I'm gonna go to the view all projects page. See, like archive here. Looks like a lot of people are doing this. I love when I can move stuff around like this. Satisfies my kind of ADHD brain. Let's see. Let's look at the projects. This looks cool. Take a look at that. I like how this looks too. Love those logos. Lots like you got a lot of experiential design type stuff for like activations of big brands. That's cool. I can kind of tell what that's going to be about though. Naus Coffee. I love these colors. This is really cool. This is a playful kind of brand system. This is hard to see. I don't know if it's messed up on my end, but the white on that color. Maybe I need to be in dark mode or something. Love this packaging right here. This is cool. You've really built out this nice system with these shapes. Because yeah, the thinker, you know, it reminds me of stacking those stones and shapes. And this is a cool system. I love this for a beverage brand, and I really like the color palette you used. Tessa, this is a cool logo. I love that symbol. What is this? Note-taking app. Okay. I think it very much feels exactly like have seen note-taking apps look like, for better or for worse. However you want to say that. Maybe it would blend in a little too much, but it also feels legit. I love this style too. Very clean, dark mode kind of UI. Less clutter, more clarity. This feels good for that kind of simple interface if that's what the idea of this brand is going for. And using this symbol to create 3D and other stuff like that is cool. It looks like you have those skills in 3D as well that really aid to creating mock-ups and brand identity and all that stuff. Common Ground, Art Book Fair. I like this little logo. Good typography here, mixing the sans serif with the more classic serif. Like, is that like Garamond condensed maybe? It looks like you have a good sense of typography, color, and building out brand identity systems as well. I really like this project. Love the different ways you showed how you can apply this branding system. If I was looking to build out a brand identity, seeing the 3 projects I've looked at so far in your portfolio would definitely give me confidence that you know what you're doing. I think this work is awesome. Great work, and this is a really nice website as well. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.